Okay, so in today's video, what we'll be doing is we'll be looking at some factorization questions. Please remember that these questions will be part of your first assessment for this term. So we're just starting. Here we have our equation, sorry, not equation, our expression, which is 2ab plus b squared. So of course, as you always would remember, you're looking for what is similar in your two algebraic terms. So looking here at 2ab and here is b squared, what we can identify as similar is b. So with b being similar, we're going to put that outside of the bracket, and now we're going to form our bracket. Now to know what goes in the bracket, we can have 2ab being divided by b, which leaves us with 2a. We're going to put back our plus sign, and now we have b squared divided by b. Now, I know some persons may not be very comfortable using the law of indices, so let's do a little bit of an expansion before we actually solve. B squared means we're going to have b times b, and we're going to divide it by b. In doing this here, we're left with just b. So for this question, the answer is b in the bracket 2a plus b. So here we have our next question. So for this question, we have ax plus bx plus ay plus by. So what we're going to do is we're going to group, which means we're pairing off our terms. And from this here now, what we're going to do is we're going to look for what is similar. For ax plus bx, we would notice that x is similar. So let's now work that. So we have ax divided by x, which is going to leave us with a, plus, and we have bx divided by x, which is going to leave us with b. We are going to maintain our plus sign here. Here we have ay and by. Similar here is y. Then we open our bracket. So we have ay divided by y, which is going to leave us with a, plus by divided by y, which is going to leave us with b. Now, it's not finished here as yet. So if you notice, our brackets look similar. Therefore, we're going to write the bracket one time, which is a plus b. And then in our second bracket, we're going to use what's outside. Here we have x, and here we have plus y. So we're going to have x plus y. Okay, so let's now move on to the quadratic expressions, how we're going to go about factorizing this. Now for these questions, what you're most looking at is the values associated with each part. So let me just put my x here. That's going to be an x there. So our a value is going to be a number, our b value is going to be a number, and our c value is also going to be a number. Now this approach is called the AC method. So if we look for our a value, whichever variable has squared, the number in front is what we're going to make use of. Now you would say to yourself, there's no number in front of x, so what exactly is that number? So please remember, when a variable does not have a number in front of it, that number is 1. Then we have the number and the letter together, so we have 5 and x. Number is 5, letter is x. So number and variable together, we want the number only. The number only is 5. And c is going to be the constant. That is going to be the number by itself. And in this case, the number is 6. So this is our information from the expression. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have a times c. So the value of a is 1, and the value of c is 6. 1 times 6 is 6. And now for the next part, we need to find two numbers when we add or subtract them. What we have is the value that is b. So we're looking for two numbers. When we get them, it needs to be 5. Also, we need to take into consideration when we multiply them, we have to it has to be equal to 6. So our AC is 6 and our B is 5. So what you want to now do is you're going to have to find the factors of 6. And this is very simple. Factors of 6 would be 1 and 6. And of course, there are a few numbers in between them, which we'd have as 2 and 3. So the factors, if we look here, 1 times 6 is going to give us 6. 2 times 3 is going to also give us 6. But however, we need to now take into consideration what we want is when we add or subtract them, we have 5. Now there's some testing that can be done, but immediately I know a few of you would see that we can have 2 plus 3 is 5, and 2 times 3 is 6. Therefore, what this means now is we're going to use 2 and 3 to represent 5x. So what you can now do is you can write x squared and you're going to write 6 because that's what you already know. We're going to put a plus sign because we're using both positive numbers. We decided that we're going to use 2, and because we want back 5x, we're writing this as 2x. So you remember something that's very important. Whatever variable it is, you're just going to have to write back that variable from the two terms that you found. So that's 2x plus, we second number is 3, and we're just going to put an x there and put back our plus 6. Now at this point, it goes into grouping. So this is our first pair, and this is our second pair. Good. Now from our first pair, we're going to have our common variable being, or common factor being x. Then we open our bracket, giving us x squared over x. So like I said, we're going to just expand a bit until you get more comfortable doing it using law of indices. And when we do this here, we're left with x. And then we have 2x being divided by x. So we're going to have plus 2. Maintaining our addition sign. And what we now have is 3x and 6. So let me just do a little bit of a change here. So we're here now, 3x plus 6. Now for 3x plus 6, our common factor is going to be, common factor, our highest factor is going to be 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to write 3 outside here. And then in our bracket, we're going to have 3x divided by 3, which leaves us with x, and we cancel out. And then we're going to have 6 divided by 3, which is going to give us 2. So plus 2. Now something that's very important to recognize, whenever you're solving for your quadratic expressions via factorization, your brackets will be the same. So with your brackets being the same, we're just going to have, as before, writing back what's in the bracket. And then for our second bracket, in this case, we have x and plus 3. So we're writing x plus 3. So that there is one way that you can actually have a quadratic expression question where you have to factorize. So in our last question here now, we have 2x squared plus 5x plus 2. So from this here, remember again, we're having our a, our b, and our c. So notice it's here where we see squared. The number in front is 2. So a is equal to 2. Now here we have our number and our letter. And in this case, the number with the letter is 5. And finally at c, the number by itself, we have it as 2. Moving on, our a times c is equal to 2 times 2, which is equal to 4. Okay, so our factors of 4 we'll have 1, 2, and 4. So our b is equal to 5. So remember again, we're wanting two numbers. When we multiply them, gives us 4. And when we add or subtract them, give us 5. From this here, you would notice that you can basically just use 1 and 4. So 1 times 4 is equal to 4, and 1 plus 4 is equal to 5. With this being established now, we can now move ahead and we can now write this expression where we acknowledge 1 and 4 to give us our 5x. Remember, these two numbers that you have identified needs to have the variable written to them. As we go into more examples, you'll see that there's always not going to be x. There can be other letters there as well. So what we have is 2x squared, and we have plus 2. So plus, we're going to make use of 1. So if we're using 1, the number here is, the letter is going to be x. Then we plus our addition sign, and we have our 4, and right here to be x as well. Now we group off. Now in our 2x squared plus our 1x, the common variable that we actually, or the common factor, I need to really work on that. Our common factor, or HCF, is x, which means our x goes outside, and we open our bracket. So in this case, we have 2x squared divided by x, which means we have 2 times x, which now leads into us canceling one of the x's from the top, leaving us with 2x. So here we're going to put 2x plus, and now we have our 1x, which you can just write as x, being divided by x, which is going to give us 1. Good. Then we put our addition sign. Now the HCF of 4x and 2 is 2. Open our bracket. Now let me just go ahead and tell you this one time. Like I said earlier, whatever is in your first bracket, it's likely going to be in the second bracket. So as a shortcut, you can just have 2x plus 1. That's like a simple trick you can make use to just go ahead and solve the expression. So with this here being established, we're going to write what's in the bracket, 2x plus 1. And then what we have outside is x and plus 2. So this is x plus 2. So this, we just went through 4 questions for solving factorizing algebraic expressions. I'll be creating more videos over time to ensure that you are able to have these questions in a lot of different formats. So you can expect to actually have a simple worksheet that's attached in the description of this video. You can take a look at that, work the questions, and I'll be posting the solutions very soon. Enjoy your day. Bye.